To make the School Community Council effective, it must be recognized as an official body within the school, complete with its own constitution or charter and bylaws. Its members must be trained in the research and best practices of school community, parenting, parent programs, and team functioning. The principal must actively participate in the work of the SCC and lend credibility to its recommendations and directives by applying them. The SCC meets twice each month for 90 minutes each meeting and operates with agendas, minutes, and focus. Let's listen as members of this school community council discuss their role in the school and what makes them effective in what they do. We'll start with a parent, then a student, and finally a principal and teacher. Get your pencils ready. A lot of good information is ahead.
The quality of the education is enforced not only by the state, but by federal government, because we have treaty rights issues that guarantees that. And many schools that I have observed are not carrying out that quality of education. And I have two little girls here that I want them to go in the outside world and be in the same level of education with the outside world. We all play a role there, unity, we come together, and we have activities, we have the most important thing is how we're going to improve that education system. The team is very effective. It's very effective in the school and in the community. In the community, there's many out there that never were exposed to such a movement until this happened, this took place. Now the community is kind of looking at it as a giant leap to that arena, that plateau, or whatever you want, kind of looking over now. We're in it now. We're on top of it. And all we got to do is look for the resources and what we can use to make them improvements. I'd rather have the team with me, because I have created a support system. That support system is there. And the team together, we can do it. I know we can do it. I alone cannot do it, I know that. I have to have a team.
I'm more of the student input and students' ideas of what we would like to see in the school and what's going on in the school. I like it. I mean, it gives me a little bit of insight in what's going on, and that's it, so I can have a little bit of opinion on what I want to see happen in our school. One of the bigger things that I want to see is a large electronic, almost like a scoreboard type idea out in front of the school with a list of things, events going on in the school, sporting events coming up, any notifications that need to be sent out. It's nice to know that at least someone's listening, trying to help out the students when they can.
My role as an instructional leader is really to oversee and create a big umbrella that's manageable, but to put as many stakeholders under that umbrella as possible and maneuver through as a team in shared decision making. I am one person. I can only be one person strong. However, if I have this team in front of me and we're really looking at digging deeper and taking the time to do root cause analysis, I get input from so many stakeholders. I can only be that much stronger because I have the point of view of a parent, the point of view of a social worker, the point of view of a teacher. As the administrator, I take all of that in, and from there we continue asking more questions. And I work extremely hard and quite proud of the team that I have in place through the School Community Council. Have really amazing parents who are willing to volunteer their time for the good of not just their own child, but every child in this building. And their input is so valuable because I'm getting close and personal information based on what's happening at home. It's building trust between so many families and myself and our school, because we're all more informed through these meetings and the activities that we put in place. So I think as the instructional leader, the only way to get better as a school is to continue getting the input and the expertise from all the stakeholders that are involved on this team.
The purpose was to try to figure out a way that we could continue to communicate with families, build relationships, have a healthier climate as far as parents feeling welcome to come into the school, and not be afraid to ask questions, and just have it feel as though it was their home, so that when maybe problems occurred, that wasn't the only time that there was communication between the school and home, that it's kind of more like a family. So that was the big push. As we meet, some of the biggest things that we've been doing is we really try to increase the welcoming aspect of our building to make it more appealing, more like home. So we've put pots outside and benches, and that has made a huge difference, so that while families are waiting for their children at the end of the day, it's like we're actually inviting them to be there. We want them there. They're sitting, waiting, chatting with some of the teachers that are there. And the same goes for the hallways, trying to put up more kids' artwork so that families are invited to come in and see it, and to have the families be a part of it. So like when we do our back to school nights, families are involved with creating some of that work too, and then during conference time later in the year when they come back, they get to kind of see the fruits of their labor. It gives them a sense of belonging, I think, and feeling as though that they're wanted. That's the whole purpose. And I think that they're a little skeptical at first because it's kind of a change, because with No Child Left Behind, there was such this data push, and that's kind of where we've been driven. And so to kind of reconnect with what school's really about. It gives them more pride. That's really what we're working for, is to take ownership that it's not just the school. This is where you spend a lot of your time and a lot of your day, and we want you to feel proud to be here. We want you to help others to treat it with respect, and to take some of that ownership and responsibility that they'll need for life skills later in life too. I would just say that it's challenging work, but it's definitely work I think that needs to be done, especially for the time period that we're in now. There just seems to be this gap between schools and families, and just to kind of bridge that, and even the community. That's one of the things that we really try to work on, is it's not just the family and the school. Those are two main pieces, but there's a large community out there that can really support us. And what we have found is if we ask, they'll step up to the plate. And so, it really does take a village.
To do its part, the School Community Council must meet at least twice a month for an hour each meeting. Some councils suggest that 90 minutes is much more realistic. Meetings are guided by an agenda, and a note-taker records the minutes of the meeting, which are provided to all team members and additional parties agreed on by the School Community Council, for example, the school board, parent organization leaders, or the faculty. Let's see an SCC in action. First, we'll hear from the principal, and then we'll sit in on the team starting a meeting.
It depends on the committee members and how schedules work. Last year we only met once a month, but we had a longer meeting. This year we found with parent schedules and staff schedules, we meet every other week, and so 2 times a month, and just for an hour. Having the agendas and going through that really keeps us kind of focused and on target as to what we want to accomplish during that time. And then during the meetings, hopefully you're able to see that everybody has a voice. We try to make certain that everybody has that chance to, well, what are you thinking as this role that you serve here?
We will go ahead and move on to the minutes. So Heidi, if you want to read us through the minutes here from last time, which will kind of lead us into our work today, the minutes from last time.
All right, so last meeting date was January 18th. We met in our usual afternoon time. We were covering Agenda 6 and starting to go through our family-friendly walkthrough report that was given to us. And so, as you can see, when we looked at the family walkthrough report, we looked at the 4 categories that were listed, that the information was broken down into. And then from there, we started looking at the first 2, communication and information. Today, again, our work will continue to look at that report in the areas of participation and welcoming.
Can you imagine what problems at your school will be solved with a council like this? In your workbook, you will find several resources to support you in launching and maintaining a successful school community council. Among the resources is a contact sheet for members to complete, guidelines for running effective meetings, a sample outline of meeting minutes, and sample constitution or charter. Use and adapt the materials to suit your needs. Good luck and have fun getting that SCC off the ground.